I'm with the Bronson Arroyo band, uh, Bronson Arroyo and the '04. Um, so music has been all around you since you were a kid, thanks to your family. What is the first memory you have of those special moments?
Oh, just sitting around the house with your father playing the piano and, writing songs about the family, or, your grandmother playing a violin with three or four people in an orchestra inside of her house, in the evening, getting prepared for, a little show in a couple of days. Those are my first memories as a kid, just kind of being very curious of what they were doing.
That's really sweet. Okay. Is there anything that you've learned throughout your baseball career that could relate to your musical journey?
Yeah, I think when you're getting prepared for a baseball game, you start getting nervous. You start getting that adrenaline. The whole day leading up to being a starting pitcher in the big leagues, you know that like you're going to war today, and your body is doing funny things that it normally wouldn't do. And so, musically, it's the same thing. You see the guys start warming up in the locker room, and you see guys getting to a point where they you're getting those nerves and you get those butterflies and you're starting to get prepared, and then you know you're going to do this thing, and then it's kind of a release up on the stage, and when you're done, that adrenaline comes down, and you know you've done something kind of extraordinary for the day.
Nice. Um, the members of the band have many other musical projects. Do those external influences come to play whenever you guys get together to do music as Bronson Aoro and the '04?
Um, yeah, I think so. I mean, everything that we're all doing, it's all part of us, and we're bringing that into what we're doing here. But it's just kind of us playing off of each other mostly, and we've been friends for such a long time, and have been working on music together for now a while. And it's been great.
That's really cool. So, recording, some might say, the songs from your new album really came alive when the whole '04 crew recorded the songs together. How long did it take you to polish those songs, and how did your synergy as friends help you create the album?
You know, it, Being friends, what it really did for me was, people talk about like giving your songs away and being kind of, worried about the fact that somebody else is going to now have control over them. I just, when we wrote these demos, a lot of the stories came from me, and but I had no problem kind of giving these up to the guys in the band in a way of being like, bring them to life with your tones and your sounds and your professionalism. Really, I'm a baseball player by trade, and I do the best I can musically, but I lean on these guys a lot to really kind of polish things off. And so making the record come alive like this was just all up to them, really. I mean, the three-part harmonies, just everything that came about with it. And so, it made it easy. And being friends for such a long time, knowing how good these guys are and that this is their craft their whole life,
Right.
it made it that much easier for me just to kind of hand the ball over and say, let's go.
That's really cool. So, what are some of your favorite key details from the songs in the album that you brainstormed together? Some key details.
Well, together me and Jamie wrote a couple of songs back 2016, and mostly it's the music parts that we kind of brainstorm together. It's about the changes. It's about these guys, showing me like, oh, we can take a D minor there and change it to an F and make the song more interesting. The stories that I'm telling in these songs mostly were kind of ideas that I was thinking about on my own, and kind of mapping that on top of the music they were bringing to the table. So we didn't talk too much about the stories really
Right.
until after they were down, and now they start coming to life, and we start talking about those.
Yeah, we started working on the music. We were like, you got to make a record. Like, we'd worked on stuff playing covers. We were like, you should make your own record. And um, so we started coming up with some musical ideas and sent him off with a bunch of different riffs of ideas. And he went back and figured out what these stories were going to be and finished it. And then he gave us a call one day. He's like, all right, guys, I finished like a bunch of these tunes, and they were great. So that's when we started like putting the finishing touches on them.
Nice. So, when you listen to the album in order, there's such a variety of instrumentals and musical styles included in it. How was the track list crafted for this project?
It was basically it's a pure democracy in the band here. I lean on these guys' opinions more than my own. And when we talked about the track list, I had some ideas of what I thought. I thought Nights Alive was going to start the song, but these guys thought we'd pop people in the mouth right out of the gate and hit them with Full Moon Fever and right into Guerrilla Warfare, into Some Might Say and the Side Effects. And those first four, just kind of really have a lot of energy in them.
Yeah.
And then we go to Higher Ground, which feels like a softer song, but kind of builds at the end and kind of feels like maybe it has something a little hookier, radio
Yeah.
friendly in there. And we just kind of built it that way. And we could have come up with 20 different versions of it, which every band can. But
Yeah.
you know, we felt like in the end that we got something that felt good. I just knew Afterlife needed to be the last song of the record. It's kind of
Yeah.
the oddball out with some strange sounds to it, and it felt like it was a closer. Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I listened to the album. That felt like a perfect fit for
Yeah.
last.
Thank you.
So we love Higher Ground, and we would love to know the inspiration behind the positive and encouraging message.
Yeah, you know, Higher Ground is kind of most of the songs on the record I wrote about outside subjects. I wrote about the Vietnam War. I wrote about Castro taking over Cuba in 2000. You know, when he was 27 years old. And but Higher Ground is kind of the closest thing to probably who Bronson is, and that's you know present tense. We will die quickly. You better enjoy the ride. And that song we were writing together in Vieira, Florida, in 2016. Myself and Jamie and you know I was just at the time not really thinking about finishing a story, so that was just kind of the first thing that came to my mind, which is kind of who I am as a person. And what I love about Higher Ground is you can definitely hear it in Nights Alive and in Higher Ground, but there is a Bronson Arroyo theme through the entire record, even though I wasn't writing about myself a lot. And it's kind of nice to kind of have sprinkled myself in there a little bit.
That's sweet. What song were you most excited to perform earlier today at Innings?
Ooh, how about you, James?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just starting to wrap my head around playing the whole set. I love playing them all. So fun, and I can't wait to do it more. I wish we were doing more of these.
Yeah. For me, I think Never Let You Go is just the prettiest song on the record, and I just love that Jamie wrote that guitar part a long time ago, and something came out of that just feels so real. You know, in the choruses, I'm saying love is all you need, and it's been said before, which is an homage to not only John Lennon and All You Need Is Love, but also a song called Love Boat Captain by Pearl Jam, which he says the same thing in there, and he basically says like, hey, you know you've heard it before, but hey, you better grab onto a little bit of love here because it's what we got to enjoy here in life. And so I love Never Let You Go today. And but right off the top, Full Moon Fever always feels good because the band's just starting and you know you're about to get this thing going. Yeah.
So, fun game. If you could choose one act from the Innings lineup to collab with, who would you choose and why?
I don't know. I just saw the Breeders, and I've always loved the Breeders. I would love to collaborate with Kim Deal.
Yeah, for me, you know, Dave Matthews is pretty special, but I've listened to the Revivalists, you know, lately, and you know they have a funny way of bringing the kind of church atmosphere to songs, where you got like kind of the call and response, and just this beautiful vibe. It's like we're all here together and we're putting our phones down, and that is really special in music, and you don't see that in every band. And I'm really interested to see them a little bit tonight, but I'd say those guys.
That's so sick. That was all my questions. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right.